Hello, I'm back. I know it's been a minute, but I have some updates I want to share with you. It has happened to me, y'all. First of all, I want to say I hope everyone is well. And I'm out in this beautiful weather. We're having a really nice day today, so I decided to take advantage of it, sit in the park, and do a video. However, it has happened to me. Y'all, it has happened to me. I was laid off. This is Crystal, your holistic menopause wellness coach. And today we're going to talk about the massive layoffs of Black women and from a different perspective and what I plan to do now. So this happened back in December. This is March 26th. And we had a holiday party. I worked for a medical school in the marketing department, and it was around Thanksgiving. And all of a sudden, my new supervisor was like, "Okay, let's have a potluck." I'm saying to myself, a potluck? We've never had a potluck. Never had a potluck. Like, okay. Right after the potluck, I get a phone call in my office saying, "Hey, did you get the email Zoom? I'm sending the email Zoom to you. Accept it." I'm like, okay. And then she said, "Okay, I just want to make sure you got it. I'm going to send a whole bunch of other people the emails." Okay. I hear people's phones ringing, blah, 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 blah. Actually, no, it wasn't a Zoom. It was a meeting. It was an invite to come to a meeting. So like the next day, I go into the meeting. I didn't really know what it was about. So I took my union rep with me. I was in a union. Because at the time, me and my supervisor, we had a new supervisor. The one that hired me had left. She went to another organization. And the new supervisor, her and I were pretty close when she wasn't my supervisor. But as soon as she became my supervisor, her management style was totally different, and we started to butt heads a little bit. It's her team she ran a clinic for addictions, and she was the clinical director, and they also gave her the title of supervisor for our team. We, the education team. So we had clinicians and pharmacists and people going out into the communities, talking to doctors about medications for addiction treatment. So I was on the education team, but I handled the marketing for the education in the clinic. So her and I were bumping heads, and because she was used to having to basically mother her team. Her team consisted of, people with lived experience, with addictions, people who've had time in jail or prison and or addictions. And our team was the education team, so we have higher degrees. And the supervisor before us, she trusted us and our judgment and our experience to do our job. But the new manager was micromanaging, and her and I bumped heads a little bit because I know my job. I know my job well. And I was able to really market our program and bring much awareness to our program since I was in the role. So I brought my union rep to the meeting. I didn't know what was happening. I know she was going to try to fire me. She was going to try to write me up or whatever. It got so bad at the job that I had to start taking FMLA. I was so stressed out. I started to hate my job. I used to love my job. I started to hate my job. And this was back in September when I started to take the FMLA. And I was only taking it once every other week, maybe twice every other week. It wasn't a lot. I just needed some time away because I did have a pre-existing condition. I had gastritis, so my stomach was bothering me. And so with the additional stress of her micromanaging me and just being confrontational and aggressive, she didn't really listen. I wasn't including any of the meetings like I used to be for the marketing, and then they wonder why the events and everything weren't as successful as they were when we had the previous supervisor. that was also stressing me out because I felt like they were pushing me out. They were deliberately not including me, which they were. So when I went into the meeting with my union rep, they looked at me like, okay, like why? And then they slipped me this piece of paper saying that, oh, due to grant cuts, we have to lay you off in 30 days because I'm in the union. They have to give us at least 30 days notice. So the my layoff date was 12/31, which was New Year's Eve. And they gave me the layoff notice 11/29. And in my mind, you know, the big boss, he's Nigerian. Hold on to that thought. Kept talking about, oh, well, you know, we have to make cuts. We have to let a lot of people go. And I'm thinking, okay, half the team is going to go. Okay. And then it just happened so quickly, and I didn't have an opportunity to ask him questions. So the union rep, they slid me the paper. They were like, okay, sign the paper if you want to have bumping rights. Bumping rights meaning that if someone else was coming into the job under my same job title, I can bump them from getting the role because I have seniority at the workplace. Okay, I signed off, I had bumper rights, and slid it back to them. And I went home. But once I went home, actually I felt really free. I felt really free. I felt like I had got a pardon from prison. I know the light's kind of crazy right now. Sorry about that, y'all. I felt like, you know, I was getting, try not to have it half and half. I felt like I was getting a pardon from prison. That's how badly the job was starting to feel. So I felt really free. I felt really free. I was able to woosah because I was driving 90 miles a day to the job, 45 there, 45 back. And it was really, really stressful. Okay, it could be stressful in the commute, but I didn't want the job to be stressful once I got there as well, after driving an hour, sitting in traffic, and then we had to drive around looking for parking. I didn't want all that. So in a way, I felt really free. So I don't want this video to get too long. I'm going to start Laid Off Chronicles Part 2 in the next video. See you then.